Now, I had a bit to say the other week about the ABC's Insiders program having such a heavy leftist bias on its panels that they hadn't got anyone onto their couch who was even close to picking the result of the last election. Now, at the risk of sounding like Fonzie, I wasn't totally correct. They had, of course, Gerard Henderson from the Sydney Institute on occasionally, and also Michael Stutchbury, the editor of Nine's Financial Review. I haven't seen either of them this year so far, I don't think, but they were on over the past couple of years. They both understood Labor's policy vulnerability and the coalition's strong arguments. So that's two panellists in a rotation of 20 or so who might represent the views of the mainstream. That's their ABC for you. I mention this because this year, Insiders is trying to be a bit fairer. David Spears is a centrist host, for starters. And a mainstream panellist is on the program most weeks. Still outnumbered, of course, but it's a start. Yesterday, the foreign editor of The Australian, Greg Sheridan, was on Insiders, as you saw earlier on the Bulk report. And he used his final word on the ABC couch to chastise the ABC on the ABC.
I think the ABC was tremendously unfair to George Pell over the last 5 or 6 years, and I think the leadership needs to reflect on this. In particular, the point I'd make is that the effect of the ABC, even if not its intent, is very often monolithic. The current affairs and news take a set against someone, all the non-specialist journalists follow the lead of their specialist colleagues, and then you get the comedy and satire programs. Tim Minchin singing "Come Home, Cardinal Pell" with its line, "I think you're scum." Now, I think that is wrong, and the ABC is so powerful that it needs to do better in terms of internal balance. With great power comes great responsibility, and I think this beyond the culture wars, they need to reflect on the disparity in power between this giant corporation and a single individual they attack.
Brilliant work by Greg Sheridan. Unarguably true, and it's a disgrace that such views are not encouraged to be part of the debate regularly on the ABC. But of course, the ABC's fans, the green left haters of Twitter, went off. Much of it was too crude and abusive to bother you with. But Nine newspapers cartoonist Kathy Wilcox said, "Oh my God, my irony meter just exploded." Greg Sheridan calling out the large and powerful ABC against just one man. ABC Illawarra journalist Nick McLaren tweeted too. He said, "Couldn't let it go. Greg Sheridan uses the free platform provided as a commentator for ABC Insiders to criticise ABC reporting of Pell, saying coverage lacks diversity." Couldn't let it go? We should just let go a travesty of justice, wrongful imprisonment, and the ABC's prominent role in it? Really? A couple of former Labor politicians chimed in too, Wayne Swan and Cheryl Curnow, saying Insiders was too right-wing now. Seriously, they want far left, hard left, green left and socialist left to fill the couch on Insiders every week, but just like the good old days, that would be. But they see one Conservative and they cry bias. A couple of prominent ABC hosts chimed in too. Annabelle Crabb and Michael Rowland tweeted that Sheridan had got it wrong, that the ABC had not commissioned Tim Minchin's Pell attack. But Sheridan never said it was commissioned by the ABC. It was played on the ABC, lauded on the ABC, where Minchin is a favourite who agrees with the political groupthink. It was all part of the rich and vitriolic ABC anti-Pell fabric, and Sheridan was right to cite it. Only last week we showed you how the ABC used Minchin's song even in its current affairs coverage.
With all due respect, dude, I think you're scum, and I reckon you should come home, Cardinal Pell. We know you're not fit.
But now, no, the ABC suddenly wants to deny Minchin 3 times before the cock crows. But what about this little exchange involving anti-News Corp obsessive Stephen Mayne? He tweeted that he couldn't imagine an ABC person being invited onto Sky News and being given an opportunity to spray Rupert Murdock, but no problems for Sheridan to spray the ABC on Insiders. And the ABC's Media Watch host Paul Barry tweeted, "Too right." This is blatantly dishonest. Barry knows I have regularly had ABC stalwart Quentin Dempster on this program at this desk to argue his case.
The mere fact, Chris, that News Corporation, Sky News, would concentrate on this while we've got a national emergency is just my point. Insiders were being played by Benson to make a News Corporation point, rivalrous point, and ABC audiences should not be subjected to this rubbish. The public had come to accept insiders as a major insight into what was going on, and there were different voices. It's not green left, as you Murdock people keep saying all the time. That is...
Hang on a second. Not only have I continued to invite Dempster onto this program, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times, we'll have him on again as soon as we can, have him on here to defend the ABC and make his attacks on News Corp and other media, but Barry's army of researchers must have told him that I've invited him onto this program too, to discuss the ABC's coverage of climate change. Now, I can understand, I suppose, the ABC's reluctance and Paul Barry's reluctance to argue their case live on air, but they shouldn't pretend we don't give them the chance.